What happened to David in Crowdcast?
So
David is at a goodbye ceremony. Funeral.
yes, so everyone is probably wondering why are we on Zoom? Where's David? Who am I? What did I do to David? No, David is fine. He could not make it for personal circumstances today, so he asked if I could co-host. And we're gonna have a little bit of a different format today. We're on Zoom, which is nice because we have a special guest, Brian, who's gonna present, and we can have more of a discussion later. And feel free to pop on Zoom if you want to ask questions and drop questions in the chat after the presentation. We'll go over it. And for the second half, we'll go over some of the updates from the Maker Relay, which is a working group that we have in community development that focuses on governance and communication. So we'll go through that in the second half. But my name is Anna. I am a contributor in community development, and I've been part of GovCons for a little while now, so I'm still learning. This is all still new to me. This is my first time hosting, so please bear with me. And if you want to introduce yourself, say where you're tuning in the world, in the chat, feel free to say hi. And I think we can now get started. Brian, do you want me to make you a co-host so you can share some slides?
Yeah, I've got some slides here. Let's try that.
Awesome. So let me make you a co-host. And I think we can go straight into it. You want to introduce what you're presenting to us, Brian?
All right, hey guys. I'm Brian McMichael on the smart contracts team here at the Maker Foundation. David actually asked me to pop on here and talk about the new ILK registry that we have. It's a tool that the community can use. I'll get into that. And let's go ahead and get right into it. So first of all, if you don't know what an ILK is just a tag. It's an identifying label that we use for our collateral types in the MCD system. So you may have seen this when you're accessing your vaults. WBTC-A is an ILK, BAT-A is an ILK, ETH-A is an ILK, for example. We use those in the MCD system as handles, essentially. So you'll pass it a string name, and it will give you the secrets of MakerDAO. And what is the ILK registry? So the ILK registry is a publicly accessible and modifiable list of all of those ILK types available in the MCD system. The thing about this is that anyone can read the list of ILKs from the blockchain and then use that information in their UIs and smart contracts. And the really cool thing, and probably the relevant part to the community, is that anyone can add, update, or remove ILKs from this contract. So why do we have the ILK registry? We need those ILK types, the ETH-A, BAT-A, USDC-A, to reach in and pull out the stability fees, the collateralization ratios, and all of the relevant information that you'll need to interact with MCD. But due to some of the details of how memory is stored in the blockchain, once a new type is added, there's no way from within a smart contract or a UI or something like that to just reach in to MCD and pick out a list of those. You have to either use like an expensive node to go back through and search history, transaction history, or event history to see what got added and removed, or you just have to know what they are and you can hard code them into your app, like say Oasis does. So that was a problem for us and for integrations to not have a good source of that. And as we continue to add new collateral types now rapidly, it's getting to be harder and harder to keep track of what's coming in and going out. So the ilk registry fixes that problem. It gives our apps and your app on-chain discoverability of those ilks. So anyone can call a list function on the ilk registry, and that'll return just basically an array of the available ilks bytes 32 types. You can iterate over this in your application or smart contract to get additional data out of the system. There's also a helper function called info that you'll just pass the ilk information, and it'll give you the token address, name, symbol, and the number of decimals on the token. And then it'll also return some information from within MCD, like the price contract, the join adapter contract, and then the auction contract for that particular ilk. And then from there, you'd reach out to those contracts and get additional information about relevant data. The kind of a cool thing about the ilk registry is that anyone can edit it. One of the first things people ask, like, how can anyone edit this, right? Like, how do we trust that? So it's actually pretty simple. To add an ilk, it first of all can't already be in there. And then what you'll do is you'll pass in the join adapter address. That's the contract where you put your, say, Ethereum in, and then it stores your Ethereum while it's in your vault. If that join adapter is valid, if we've given it proper permissions within the MCD system, it does a bunch of require checks, and it will add that to the registry. If you try and create your own join adapter that doesn't have permissions on the MCD system, it will just fail and revert the transaction without adding it to the system. And in the same way, if you want to remove an ilk from the ilk registry, you'll just pass it the ilk ID, say ETH-A, and it'll do a check here. And if the adapter that you're trying to pass in has been caged within the system, and that's a governance function, then no problems. It'll just remove it from the list. Now, we are working on a new version of the ilk registry. We've got liquidations 1.2 coming here within the next week or two that limits the amount of on-auction DAI to prevent trying to dump too much collateral on the market at one time. One of the things that we did with this ilk registry was kind of made it disposable. So if any of the core contracts get updated, we would just redeploy a new ilk registry. So if you do use this, keep that in mind that it may change. The interface will probably stay the same, but we are planning a new version of the ilk registry to coincide with the liquidations 1.2 update. That one will be a little more permanent. We'll allow governance to update the core contracts within that, so we don't need to redeploy the ilk registry every time we do an update to like the spotter or something like that. When we do that, there'll be a public update function. So when we update, say, the cat, which we'll be doing with liquidations 1.2, you'll be able to call update on each of the liquidations, on each of the available ilk types, and it will reach out and update the values within there, like the auction contract and things like that. So that's not there yet. It will be there within the next week or two, and we'll be updating the contracts at that time. So you can build with the ilk registry now. Just keep in mind that a new version will be coming shortly. Now, how are we using this? We're already integrating the ilk registry into some of our tooling here. The MCD CLI command line tool has been recently updated. It had a major overhaul. The DApp tools program that basically underlies MCD CLI got an update, and so we took it offline for a little while to do a major overhaul to MCD CLI, but it's back. It's got its own installer, and it uses the ilk registry to provide a list of ilks, and it uses that list to validate. So we don't need to update MCD CLI every time we add a new collateral type to the MCD system. It'll just reach out there and find it. Our weekly executive spells are starting to use the ilk registry for certain things like dripping, and in the middle of last month, we used it to set all of the dust values from 20 DAI to 100 DAI. So you can see We just call that list function, and we've got an array, and we just loop over that and do everything that we need to each of the collateral types. So that's available to anyone. There is a contract called Drizzle, which is kind of like a simple implementation of the ilk registry. It's just a highly optimized, I think it was optimized for 1 million runs to quickly go through and drip all of the ilk types. So drip is also a public function on MCD that updates the rates in the system from whatever the last time they were dripped to the current rate accumulated value. So we do have a kind of a simple implementation of that, so you can see how to integrate that into your smart contracts. And then coming soon, the Oasis team has expressed some interest in integrating the ilk registry into their front end, so they will not have to hard code in new collateral types every time we add them to the system. Our keepers, our bots that run behind the scene to make sure that everything is kind of running as it needs to be, will be integrated to use some of these features. And then I mentioned before that there is a new ilk registry coming with Liquidations 1.2, and that'll add some new features at the request of the integrations team. And feel free to look through it. It's public. The code is available for audit, and if there's any features that you think that should be there, you can throw an issue on the repository and let us know. So that's about all I had for the presentation. I don't know if anyone has any questions on that. I'm happy to talk.
Yeah, if anyone has any questions, feel free to drop anything in the chat, as well as also feel free to pop on here on Zoom, since we are in a different format today and you have the option to asking Brian directly. And where can people go to read more about this?
Yeah, so the github.com/MakerDAO/ilk-registry. It's available on Kovan and mainnet, so you can test it out over there. Requirement, it's DAppTools compatible, and then a full list of the available functions on the ilk registry available here. So right now, there's add and remove. You can list the full array. You can list a partial array if the list gets too long to iterate on chain. And then there's just some additional features. If you just want one value, you can get those out of there. I should mention that there are some features available to governance. So these aren't public. They would have to be done through an executive spell. If we want to update any of the particular contracts, or we can force remove an ilk without it being caged. And then there's also there are a bunch of new features coming in to update that'll be coming out in the new version. So the interface will stay the same with the list and the info functions, but we'll also be adding an update and then the ability for governance to update the cat as well.
I have a question. Would we be able to use this for setting governance meta parameters such as risk premiums?
Yes. So Mooney, actually, we have a set of kind of emergency spells that we have deployed in case we have another situation like Black Thursday. What we do in that situation is we iterate over everything, but then throw a bunch of if blocks in there. So if we're on the ETH, then we do certain things. The thing about the risk premiums is we still do those calculations offline. So we use a per second value that's like it's a RAD, I believe, that is very expensive to calculate on chain. So we could use the Ilk registry for that, but in this case, like since every value would need to be set individually, they're not all the same. It would likely be something that we would still do manually for now in the executive.
Right. So you would set the Ilk registry risk premium parameter, sort of just like hard code it within the executive spell. Is that what you're saying?
Well, so each ilk is going to have its own risk premium. So, you know, ETH is at 0 right now, but USDCB is at 44% or something like that. So in order to calculate that 44% out, it's
Oh, sorry, let me interrupt for a second. I'm not talking about the stability fees, which are in the smart contract. I'm talking about meta parameters that are just sort of abstract governance concepts.
Yeah. So you're talking about like the negative 4%, or I think that's what we're at right now. That's possible. It hasn't been integrated into the Ilk registry right now. We would need another source of that on chain.
Yeah, something like that would be really great for sort of tracking how these meta parameters evolve over time.
Yeah, so one of the things is that would probably have to be set by governance. So we don't have all of the information that comes in right now is coming directly from off chain. So when you pass in a join adapter, it reaches out and it grabs the I can just show you here. It reaches out to various contracts and grabs the flipper and the pip and things like that. So the governance parameter right now is not online. It's kind of tracked in forum posts and in GitHub and things like that. So we would need a way to reliably track that. Maybe like if there was a separate oracle for the governance parameter, we would absolutely be able to pull that out of there.
Yeah, or even in the meantime, just sort of when you set the parameter or when you're changing this stability fee in the executive, just sort of also include maybe this is a human level description of what we've changed in the Ilk registry. Is something like that possible in the meantime?
Yeah, it's possible. It would governance would just have to remember to put that in there every week. So as of like right now, once the foundation is dissolved and the community is taking care of the executive spells weekly, this would still allow anyone to add or remove the collateral types. So if we wanted to actually change some values on a week-to-week basis, then yeah, governance would have to reach into this contract and change those. It's possible, but it does kind of add to the work that governance would need to do to track this. And maybe this is a good place to do that. Maybe we need another Oracle contract for keeping track of that for now, and then that could like reach out to this could reach out to that and pull that live.
Okay, cool. Thanks.
Yeah.
Awesome. Does anyone else have any other questions?
All right. Thanks a lot, guys.
Thanks so much, Brian.
All
So
right.
we'll add the links to the description. And yeah, thank you so much. Feel free to jump off.
Great. Thanks a lot.
Thanks, everyone. Nice. So that was really cool. We'll post descriptions in the replay for everyone who wants to take a look at it. And hello, everyone. I see the chat. Everyone, it's nice to see everyone checking in from around the world. I'm checking in from Florida today, but usually I'm based in New York. So that's That's pretty exciting. So I thought we could use the second half of this call to go over Maker Relay, which is, as David mentioned in the past, something that a working group has been putting together week to week that shows the most up-to-date and the most relevant issues for governance and keeps you updated on different things that are happening in the community. And as always, we're looking for feedback. We're looking for any kinds of ideas. If anyone has anything, feel free to message us and reach out to me, David, or Tim, who's also here, and let us know. So I'll go ahead and share my screen. Can everyone see my screen?
Yes.
Yes. Sharing.
Yep.
So welcome to Maker Relay 9, and today is August 25th, and we published on Monday. We have, so governance has been voting a lot on debt ceilings lately, and we have an update on the Maker blog that talks about what is the debt ceiling, why is it vital to the Maker protocol, and you can read all about that over here. So this is a really nice blog post that breaks down the background of that, how we got to where we are today, the history of all the different votes that took place, and how we got to these milestones that we're at today. So definitely check that out. And today we are now in week 4 of the governance cycle. And please let us know if you have any ideas for how we can make this more useful or more visual. I know we've talked a lot about creating more visuals or trying to make some kind of ways to showcase where we are in the governance cycle. But this week we are coming to the end of this month's governance cycle. So we have the August governance cycle bundle that includes these MIPs that you can go vote on. And under MIPS updates, we also have the discussions on the forum for offboarding personnel and strategic reserve fund. And this week, we also had a couple of, so the executive for raising the debt ceiling passed, and you can check out the discussion here. And we have a couple of polls going on. So this poll passed, and the base rate adjustment was voted on, as well as we also have a lot of community greenlight polls happening. And greenlight polls are mostly used to showcase sentiment, so you can check that out and vote on the different collateral types that are going to be added or in the future. We also have signal requests happening, and you can check these out in the forums. And there's no updates this week, or not as many updates this week from smart contracts and risk. And for vault compensation, you can check out the V2 compensation plan. Last week on the governance call, we had a really great discussion and presentation for liquidation 1.2, and that was recorded. And there's a video that we've linked, timestamped for those who are interested to check it out. As well as we have the technical details timeline and more discussions happening in the forum. And as far as the forum deep dive, we have discussions on adding real world assets to the Maker protocol that you can check out here. And for state of the peg got closer to the dollar over the week. And we might be taking a break now from all the craze happening from yield farming. But the peg has been going up in the last 24 hours. And this is the breakdown. We have 442 million DAI currently in circulation, with the majority of ETH vaults collateralized between 200 and 300%. And that would take a 28 drop for the first 30 million to be liquidated. And the WBTC vault collateralization ratio is between 150 and 200%, which would take about a 15% drop for the first 23 million DAI to be liquidated. As far as community goes, we have been sharing a lot of articles, thought pieces, videos, and podcasts in this section. If you find this useful or have anything else that you would like to see, feel free to let us know. This week we've curated a podcast, some YouTube videos, and a Reddit thread that you can check out. And going into the Maker Forum, we have several discussions happening. We're talking about potentially moving Oasis app.crypto into unstoppable domains. If you have any interest in exploring that, there is a link to that in the forum as well. And so this week is going to be the second community collateral onboarding since we've reintroduced it 2 weeks ago. And you can check out the agenda and what we'll be discussing on that call tomorrow. There's the details. As always, you can join the governance and risk call on Thursday and have some events down here below and some hackathons. And we have this survey on the bottom. If you enjoy this kind of information, what you would like to see more of, feel free to give us your thoughts and ideas. And that's it for this week. Does anyone have questions or wants to discuss? We can stop sharing.
Hey, can you show that again with the unstoppable domains? Or if somebody can explain, is that we'll be registering Oasis on unstoppable domains? Is that what that was about? I think I missed it.
Yeah, of course. Let's see. Let me show that again. So I think someone has mentioned in the governance call last Thursday about this. Yeah, so. I
Yeah, that's what it
believe
looks like.
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, no, I was gonna say that's what it looks like, right? They're going to register Oasis app.crypto as the unstoppable domain, which is pretty cool.
Yeah, it's a pretty cool use case. There's still things we can discuss. Some people raise concerns over what that would be like legally. But yeah, this was a pretty interesting comment. This came up in last week's call. Let me see if I can pull up these.
Because if Maker
Yeah.
launch their own IPFS, it's gonna be totally decentralized. Huh?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's why it's a start of a conversation, I believe, right? Is how does a DAO own a domain, right?
Right.
Which is like has a whole bunch of different nuances and dependencies. So I think that they wanted to start the conversation. One thing I don't know is if they, oh yeah, okay. So they they built it on IPFS and they just want to transfer the ownership. And so it's starting the conversation for us to all think through that as like a governance thing. So.
Yeah, this was just beginning the conversation. It was brought up, I think, for the first time last week. So yeah, there's already some thoughts on this. So if you have any ideas, feel free to share them in the forum. But yeah, this was pretty interesting. Something that happened last week.
Has anybody on this call registered a domain so far in one of those?
I did. I have it.
Yeah.
Nice.
I have a Caio Vicentino. It's my name, .crypto, and I already did my website on it.
Wow,
Awesome.
nice.
Do you have a link you can drop in here?
Yeah, it's gonna be Caio Vicentino. Oh.
What I was thinking that maybe if you do stuff like Nike.crypto or I don't know, Coca-Cola.crypto, you could resell it back, right, as an investment idea. But yeah, registering your name, right? That's kind of cool too, right?
Yeah, some people got rich on 2000s, because of the domains. Huh?
It's land grab time right now for unstoppable domains.
But I think we're gonna have to wait for them to launch like a more user-friendly thing, because we're gonna have we must have the extension on the Chrome, on the Brave browser to use it. So it's gonna be I think it's gonna be a better way if we have like a browser like a Chrome using it like in a standard way. I mean,
Yeah, what was that experience like using it and going through the whole
other thing that I think that is going to be cool if anyone would create like a marketplace that we can sell and buy things with DAI and crypto. It would be amazing. Huh?
Yeah.
Hey,
Vicentino, do you mind if I ask, how much did you pay for it to?
I paid $40 for the domain.
Okay, in crypto or US dollars?
I paid with crypto.
Cool.
But it is $40.
You can do both, I think.
Yeah, I think you can do both.
And it's a one-time charge as far as I understand, right? There's no, because you own it now and you don't have to pay upkeep. It's not.
Yeah, sure. That is the difference between ENS, Ethereum Name Service, because we have to pay when you buy a ENS domain, you get it for like 2 years or so, and then you have to pay again. And with .crypto domains, you don't have it. You just pay one thing and that's it.
Yep.
It's a little bit expensive, but it works. Huh? So I'm from Brazil. I would like to introduce myself. I'm Caio Vicentino from Brazil. I'm just learning how to become this. I'm not a developer. I'm here in Brazil. I talked to Nadia from Latin America, and we started to work together here to become like an ambassador of MakerDAO here in Brazil, and I'm really glad to be here talking to you guys today. And it's my first time here.
Wow, nice. That's awesome. Thank you for joining us. Well, you joined on a remix of a community call. This is a different format that we have going on today, but I'm really glad that you're here with us. That's awesome.
Thanks to having me here.
Yeah.
You're welcome.
Is anyone else joining for the first time?
Yeah, I think Luis from Venezuela is
Hi,
here as
hi.
well.
Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay. Hi to all. I'm Luis. I'm the one of the MakerDAO ambassadors of Venezuela. I think Alejandro is here too, and we are three in the team. So yeah, it's my first time here too. So glad to say hi to you all.
Wow. Amazing.
Thanks.
Yeah, I have a
Hi,
question
hi.
about the Oasis, domains that you were talking about right now. Oasis was like blocked to Venezuela a few months ago, and don't know if with that domain change, it might be available for Venezuela, uh, like from that domain.
I think I can answer that. If we get to have like the Oasis on the IPFS, there is no censorship. There is no it's censorship resistant, the IPFS, so they can't block it. You will be able to use it on the IPFS for sure. But there are another legal things that they were talking here today that must be solved before it goes live.
Keep in mind, guys, that you can also
Use
clone
a
the repo
VPN.
from GitHub and run it locally.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, no, well, you can like open right now Oasis from a VPN, but for other people that are not so handled with computers and all that, they couldn't like open even from a VPN. Well,
Yeah, GitHub would be a little bit complicated for the average Venezuelan. Um, but not trying to switch gears here, but how's the scene over there in Venezuela and Brazil when it comes to DAI and Ether?
That's a great question.
Yeah.
I can start it here in Brazil. We are growing the community, and we are creating this spreading the knowledge about DAI, because the people don't understand it too much, and it is just too new for the people. But I am trying to because here in Brazil, I think I am the only ambassador of Maker, and I'm the first one. So it's been challenging, but it's gonna be really cool, because the people who likes crypto, they already understand it, and they started to use it more and more, because they know nowadays, because uh, some exchanges here are working with DAI, and we can like buy DAI straight from the fiat and currency. So it's growing. I think it's growing greatly. I think it's growing fast, but it's slow moving. We gotta understand that there's too much. It's too new. No, it's just really new, and people needs to understand the stable coin, decentralized stable coin thing, and then I think it's gonna be cool, and I think Brazil needed a lot, because we suffer from inflation from the government a lot, and we don't have anything to do. So the dollar here in Brazil is going through the roof, and in comparison with the Brazilian real. So we have this alternative way to dollarize our investments in a easy way. I mean, so it's really easy to have DAI in the wallet. So the people who understand, they are already switching their other stable coins to DAI. And also I created a hashtag that is called by Troca por DAI. In Portuguese, it means swap for DAI, and the people are changing their Tether, their USDC for DAI because they understand now that is growing and is much safer than being in a centralized stablecoin that we got.
Nice.
Yeah, well, we hear from Venezuela. We already have media channels in Twitter, Telegram, Instagram. So getting a lot of new followers of people that are listening about DAI, and we are creating blogs, tutorials, so people can like start in the DeFi space, right? We already have like 3 posts on Medium. We are using Medium, and over 300 followers on Twitter with great feedback from the new users. And now we are like having a lot of alliances with exchanges that works here on Venezuela, and they like DAI because they don't have like a lot of troubles that they have usually with USDC or USDT with Tether. So we are like talking to establishment, to food restaurants, food establishments that are likely to add DAI to their commerce, because we did a small research. So DAI can be like accepted for any establishment because it's a digital asset. So the government can like block it or anything like that. So we are like spreading the DAI information and the DeFi information for all the people over here.
That's awesome. You guys should share links to your hashtag and the Medium articles with us in the chat so we can all check it out and share it.
Oh, great. I already have 2 as well from Brazil in Portuguese.
Yeah.
It's amazing to be part of this team. You know, I see how people are often like the people are really passionate with the thing. You know, I think we share the same feeling.
Oh, that's amazing.
So to talk a little bit about my groups that I created here in Brazil, I have a Telegram group with more than 200 people and 215 people, 220 people of MakerDAO Brazil. And I have a Twitter as well with like 80 people, MakerDAO Brazil, a Medium. And I already have a Instagram as well of MakerDAO Brazil, MakerDAO BR. So it's growing a lot. It's growing a lot. The people are understanding. I also have a YouTube channel. I'm a YouTuber that I speak about DeFi, and I teach people how to use protocols, Uniswap, and do some like the huge farming and this crazy stuff. I always teaching people. I'm always doing this things involved with the DeFi community here in Brazil, and the people like a lot this insane creation of things that are growing growing a lot. Like in the short space of time, one week we're gonna have like 10,000 of protocols and things to learn, to understand, and to talk to people. So it's crazy how this environment grows.
Our biz dev guy,
Definitely.
Greg DePrisco, just mentioned on Twitter that he used to be able to take the weekend to catch up on what happened in Ethereum throughout the week. And now he has to take the weekend just to catch up on what happened in MakerDAO throughout the week.
That's a good problem to have. That's really exciting. Well, maybe we can take some of the things you guys are working on and share them in some of our channels, and maybe in our community section of Maker Relay we can give some links to what you're working on, because that sounds amazing.
Oh, that would be cool. I'm
Yeah,
gonna
that,
share
that
the
would be
link
great.
now.
Wait, so how do you say in Portuguese and in Espanol yield farming?
The important questions.
we call it by huge farming as well, man. We don't have it like a
No translation.
no
Yeah,
translation
yeah,
because it's gonna be crazy
farming,
to
it's
yeah. Like
global.
in Portuguese it's gonna be like I don't know, man. It's gonna be really strange to say it in Portuguese, you know, for the people. So huge farming becomes like a more easy way to the people understand. And then we try to explain and say everything, and you can earn governance tokens, and you so you know. So but it's huge farming. It's go by huge farming, liquidity mining, and and huge hacking as well.
Yeah, we actually have, so within community development, we had this little project going called Humans of MakerDAO. So kind of similar to like Humans of New York or Humans of different projects. So we were compiling like a list of different people's like photos and their bios that they're submitting that we're planning to use on just our social channels. And we have other things launching soon. So we wanted to showcase different people in the community. If you're interested to submit maybe a photo and like a little bio, what you're working on, what you're excited about, we can definitely add you guys to this. And that would be really awesome to share on all of our social channels.
Oh, that would be a great.
sure.
Sure. Thank you. Thank you so
Sure.
much.
Yeah. Yeah, of course. Yeah, I think Tim just sent, yeah, are you in our community development channels? There's the link in the chat that Tim just posted.
Okay.
If you join and just say hi, we'll welcome you all there. And we can talk more about all of that, and we'll share the links where you can submit a bio. That would be really fun.
No, okay. I will make it happen.
It's really great to hear about what everyone's working on. Does anyone else have anything exciting they want to share that's happening in community?
Yeah.
And I'm keeping track. I'm trying to copy everything from the chat so that we have all of this to post for later.
I guess like a lot of the community work has been stifled, right, because of the pandemic. And I hope in 2021 we get back to doing community events, because right now there's nothing coming up, right, Anna? Like there's nothing, or you really can't do anything, right? There's no meetups. There's no, yeah.
Just online stuff.
There's online
Yeah.
meetups. Zoom meets.
Yeah, so unfortunately, there's nothing is happening.
Yeah, well,
in person
for example, here.
Go ahead.
Yeah, we for example, in Venezuela, we are over the I think the next week, we are going to do like a little webinar to some entrepreneurships, some establishments that would like to to add DAI for their products and services. And yeah, we're like with the option of doing everything like online.
Yeah. Yeah, we've had a lot of different events. Everything is now virtual, and we try to, we also use the Maker Relay, my newsletter that I was reading from, to kind of post different replays or anything else that was happening. So yeah, that's probably the best way to find if there's events happening. But yeah, unfortunately, they're all virtual until further notice. But that gives us all a chance to hang out on Zoom like today, which is awesome.
It is. It is.
So it's not all bad. It also brings us together from around the world.
Otherwise, we wouldn't be here.
Exactly. Yeah, and if you have events happening, so I guess you promote them on your own channels currently, right? For community, and the webinar that you're hosting. That's just through like social channels, right? Or how do people find out about the different events that you do virtually?
Here I try to talk on my YouTube channel, and I made a lot of partners with the other YouTube channels that are bigger than mine, and then I show and I introduce them to DAI, and already done some live CDP creation on those channels. Like I've been creating so much stuff, so much content that I can even say what I did. So it's every day I share a video and talk about something 20 minutes video, 30 minutes video. So it's been crazy how it works and how it grows.
Wow. Did you share that YouTube with us in the chat? I can't see it. I'd love to check it out.
You mean the blog the blog post that I did?
Oh yeah, or the YouTube channel. We'd also love to just check it out.
I'm gonna put the YouTube channel here as well. One moment.
Hey Anna, while Vicentino is doing that, quick question. I know David was working on getting some NFTs distributed to community members that partake in voting or other things. I can't remember. Do you know what happened with that, with the NFTs?
Yeah, I can
That's
take
still
that.
in the works.
Yeah,
ahead,
so over the next 3 weeks or so, we're going to be rolling those out. The design of the badges is actually ready. That's some of the stuff we talked about in community development, the channel, from one of our community members, Richard Rosa, who is an amazing illustration artist and designer in general. The long and short of it is that Discourse is picky, and the badges work on Coven right now. And so the 3 or 4 man developer team is really making that loop work really well from the forums. We've tested it. It does sort of work. And so over the next couple of weeks, just look out for a forum post. We'll obviously put it in the relay, considering that's another community development type of initiative. But yeah, we're really trying to make it like just a 1-click or 2-click experience in the forum. You redeem your badge and there it is. And then they're working on migrating them to be fully on mainnet as well. So yeah, soon. Is the answer.
Nice.
Yeah, it's gonna be cool. They're really fly. I mean, the design is great. We're trying to just make the experience like really crisp and like articulate how it all works, which is, as I mentioned, hairy, and we don't have to get into it.
It's very exciting. They look awesome. We're really excited for y'all to see them.
So we're gonna have like NFTs on our wallets to show what kind of things like we.
Correct. Yeah. So yeah, it's 720 run, right? Is the token standard, and there are currently contracts deployed on Coven of a bunch of different things, like vote on a governance poll or accrue DAI in the DSR. They read information from mainnet, but the NFTs themselves live on Coven at the moment. And so we've been testing on the forum just a redemption flow where regardless of where the badges live, it reads it and you can see it and then displays on the forum. So it's entirely in-house. And so like the sort of short roadmap is make sure that that loop is complete, figure out what to do with the badges, if they need to be mainnet or not, which involves like Long for Wisdom and other governance people, talk about it on a governance call, and then determine if we just want to roll it out the way it is, or if we want to finish putting things on mainnet, which involves like contract deploys. It gets kind of expensive, and gas has been, at yield farming price lately. So that's a little bit more difficult than we all want to deal with. But inevitably it is a thing for the governance community. And so whatever they think is useful, we'll probably do. but yeah, it's pretty snazzy. It's cool. Yeah, you can like scroll through community development, probably see a few of them, or just like look up Richard Rosa. I think he has one of his own badges as his icon, which is like super cool. So
Nice, man.
Yeah.
yeah, it's really
And
cool.
some of
What are
them,
some of the? Go ahead.
some of them are like vote on a governance poll, vote on an executive poll, bite an unsafe vault, bid on a collateral auction, like send 10 die. And then it's interesting because you can kind of level up. So the more participation you have, like the different badges you receive. So they really thought of so many things. Shout out to
Yeah,
Scott.
that was about to be my question, to just list some of the things that you can earn badges for. But yeah, those are some of them.
Yeah.
Is there a limit, limited quantity, or?
I think there is a limit to start, but as they roll out to be on mainnet, we're just going to sort of evaluate that as it goes. That's one of those sort of mainnet decisions that we kind of want to open to the community to understand, like how many of them there should be or how it goes, because there is that. It's kind of almost a gamified experience, right? The level of participation you do gives you more of these badges as you go, right? So we don't want to be too restrictive, I think. But yeah, we'll open that as a discussion for everybody.
Is that Tim, real quick, is that a Keith Haring you have back there?
It is actually, yes,
Really?
it is. And there's
Okay,
also
okay.
an internet cartoon and some
Oh, there you
speakers
go.
that someone from community development bought me. I am in
That'd be a NFT right there.
Yeah, right. That would be super cool. Yeah, NFT art is so awesome. There's this guy, there's something called Our Zora, which is a really cool project. This guy named Jacob Horn from Coinbase has been working on that. That's doing some really innovative stuff in the sort of like tokenized ownership space. Can't recommend following that guy enough. He's brilliant.
Awesome. Well, thanks everyone. We are now about at time. Thank you everyone for coming to hang out with us for this remix format. And join us as always in the chat and in the forum to discuss and debate. And we'll look out for everyone's links to your channels, to your YouTube, so that we can share it.
Great, thank you for having me once again, and it's really I'm really glad to be part of this team, you know. So thanks for all, and have a good day, everyone.
Thanks, we're glad to have you.
Thank you.
Bye. Bye everyone.